Thank you for being with us. Senegal's football fans are slamming AFCON's decision to strip the country of its Africa Cup of Nations title and hand it to Morocco, calling the move a disgrace for Africa. As they woke up to the news this Wednesday, these images, of course, going back to when the title was won and the jubilant team and fans all celebrating in the streets of Dakar. Meanwhile, in Morocco, it's a celebration of sorts. Morocco staging the AFCON this year. They were favourites to lift the trophy. They lost to Senegal in a final that was, well, I think it's fair to say, marked by controversy. This from Caroline Baum.
It was a historic win for Senegal's Lions of Teranga, beating the African Cup of Nations host, Morocco, in a chaotic January final. Now, 2 months later, the Confederation of African Football has stripped them of the title, retroactively declaring Morocco the African champion. Senegalese fans are furious.
We played and we won, and the whole world is witness and knows that it's Senegal who deserves the trophy.
Africa has been humiliated. If you have to go to the Court of Appeals in order to win a trophy, it's pitiful.
The Confederation's decision pointed to a protest by the Senegalese team, who walked off the field for 15 minutes after a penalty kick was awarded to Morocco in the final minutes of regulation time. When the game finally resumed, goalkeeper Edouard Mendy easily saved Brahim Diaz's attempt, and Senegal scored the winning goal in extra time. Tuesday's decision cites AFCON rules which state that a team refusing to play would be eliminated from the competition. And adding insult to injury, the ruling turned the 1-0 Senegalese win into a 3-0 Moroccan win. In Rabat, Moroccan supporters feel that justice has been served.
Everyone's delighted with this outcome. Thanks to this ruling, the cup is returning to its rightful home.
The Senegalese Football Federation has said it would appeal the decision. The country's federal government got involved on Wednesday, calling for an independent investigation into corruption.
And this soccer controversy is our spotlight feature. Let's bring in Ruben Slagter of Eurosport, football journalist extraordinaire. Ruben, great to see you. How did you feel when you heard this news?
Well, I was a bit shocked, but at the same time, after everything that happened already 2 months ago, it was not the biggest surprise either, because there was already so much controversy around that whole final, and then now the other decision was still a bit in the air. The strange thing was, of course, the timing. Why do it on a Tuesday night, Champions League night, just during a game? Just a quick mention, we all thought, I talked with James about it before we got the message, and we all thought that maybe the website of the CAN was hacked or whatever. Yeah, of the CAF, sorry.
Is the implication here that they were trying to bury this bit of news, which is very controversial?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you want to take such a decision, first of all, I think you have to take it much earlier, let's say the night itself or maybe the day after, and then you have to step up. It is to Patrick Motsepe, the president, or let's go even higher, Gianni Infantino, to step up and say, okay, listen, these are the rules, Rule 82, okay, they breached it, they went out of the pitch, and okay, this is why we take this decision.
We could say that this is now obviously the final with the longest extra time ever played, because it's gone on for 2 months in terms of this row. But why did it take so long to make this decision? Because on the night, it was very clear there was a controversial decision. It was very clear that the Senegalese players left the pitch, then came back. Why did it take so long to get to this decision?
Yeah, that's the big question. I'm also not sure why they took so long. There has been a lot of discussions, I think, also internally. We can also hear that on two sides there's complete opposite opinions. The Moroccan side really think that they have been done harm by the whole thing, but whereas the Senegalese are still talking much more about the decisions of the referee on the night itself. So I think that they just, there has been just a lot of, also a bit of politics behind doors to make it sure.
Just a bit of politics.
Let's say
quite a lot.
That's also where we are now in a real bad situation, because let's not forget the real losers of this is just African football in general. We are now, we are all big fans of the African Cup of Nations. It's always a lot of fun. There's a lot of unpredictable stories. This final was an unpredictable story. But if we are now going to give away a title this way, this will create a precedent that is very, very dangerous for the future of the sport as a whole.
Morocco will be staging part of the World Cup in 2030.
Yeah.
What does this episode say about the potential that what might happen then? It doesn't really put African football in a good light, does it?
No, unfortunately, because again, I think that a lot of people, well, let's say the fans of African football always like it also because of it being unpredictable. But a lot of people are always also saying, when we talk Africa Cup of Nations, it's bad pitches, a lot of strange referee decisions, these kind of things. And to be honest, this year in Morocco, it was a lot better.
Because the facilities in Morocco, they're excellent, aren't they? I mean, they've massive investment. There's been investment in football for many years with the Sis Academy, Mohammed VI, the King, investing in football. And you see Moroccan players coming into major leagues, Achraf Hakimi at Paris Saint-Germain, for instance.
That's why it's such a shame, because Morocco was really one of the trailblazers on the African continent for African football and, of course, for Morocco themselves as well. And now the focus will be way more on this incident, and that's just a shame for Morocco, but again, also for African football in general.
People cynically say about corruption in African football. Yeah. And often they say that without any real proof. However, they say also there's no smoke without fire. So people may raise the question that this all happened because fears of corruption on the night, fears that maybe someone had been paid to do something this certain way. Do you have any thoughts on that, Ruben?
Yeah, well, we cannot prove anything about this. What we can say, though, is that we can again start a discussion about the decisions of the referee on the moment and what gave what made the Senegalese players decide to go off the pitch. I really understand why they were super frustrated. Then we go to a second part, is that because apparently the rule, I didn't know that rule to be honest, but is that the whole team have to be off the pitch, which was not the case because
Sadio Mane stayed on the pitch. Because Sadio Mane was calling them back out, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he was talking with Claude Leroy, and I remember, and with the referee. So, yeah, that will be more about a whole legal story and other things. Corruption is not only in African football; it's everywhere.
It is, and as you say, no proof there was any corruption on the night, but what did happen is Senegal left the pitch. It's gone to the investigation, the inquiry, which has now decided to strip Senegal of the title and hand it to Morocco, but it's not over. There will be an appeal. And Ruben, we'll bring you back to talk about that when it happens. Ruben Slagter from Eurosport. Let's